Kansas City Chiefs play this evening. Okay. They are still entering tonight's game against the banged-up Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, who is healthy. They are the lone remaining undefeated team in the National Football League, 7-0 tonight. All started on this field when they took on the Ravens in Arrowhead to start the season and escaped with a last-second victory and haven't lost a game yet this year. And tonight they might not lose, which is another interesting way of saying they should win. Until then, as of right now, the best team in the National Football League, and they may actually beat them if they face them tonight. And I've never said this before. I don't think I've said this in my entire life. I don't know how many people in their lives in the great state of Michigan have said this. But the Detroit Lions are the best team in the National Football League right now. As of right now, Chiefs haven't played their 8th game yet. But the Lions aren't just beating up on people. They're putting them in a fetal position. They are exactly what Dan Campbell set out for the Lions to be and said in very graphic detail, which, unfortunately for him, coming out of the box, had a lot of people thinking he was an unserious head coach in the NFL. But I think it works to his benefit now. If you still think he's unserious, that's a UP. That's your problem. And you'll find out it's going to be your problem fast. Because this team is fearless. They're ferocious. They are physical. They are smart. They are really smart. They got smart players all over the map. They've got a brilliant coordinator on offense and defense, and they've got a head coach who has his finger directly on the pulse. I tweeted out a photograph in the midst of this rain fest in Lambeau Field, a GIF during their Lions run game that was going on as we're watching Amon-Ra St. Brown with his touchdown celebration.
I don't know what that was. It looks painful.
But, you know, while they were jamming it down the Lambeau Field throat last afternoon on Sunday evening, I tweeted out a GIF of Hans Gruber saying, "This is Ben Johnson when the run game's working." And the GIF was Hans Gruber telling Hans to hit it again. Hit it again. Well, I mean, the police car's on fire. Like, what do you mean hit it again? We're making a point is basically what Hans was saying to everybody. Hans Gruber saying, hit it again, telling everybody. And that's what they do. They went into Lambeau Field yesterday and stole the Packers' soul. That's what they did. Team that was coming in thinking, this is our time. Yeah, we got Jordan Love all banged up, but this is our house. This is Lambeau Field. And guess what? The Lions have not done here. They've never sent a quarterback on the field to Lambeau Field 3 straight times and won with that quarterback 3 straight times. Indeed, the only quarterback on the list, there's a list, I guess it's now created, of Lions quarterbacks who have won 3 games in a row in Lambeau Field. The list is Jared Goff, and that's it. I tweeted that out. People are like, Bobby Lane never did it? Nope, they did not. As a matter of fact, the Lions have now won more games, or as many games, in Lambeau Field in their last 3 trips there than the team did all the way from the early 90s to the time Dan Campbell showed up. From 92 to 2021, including playoffs, the Lions were 3-25 in Lambeau Field. They're now 3-0 in their last 3 trips. And Jared Goff, all he does is complete the football. That's what he does. And you can't stress the importance of it, certainly when the run game is working. When David Montgomery's doing his thing with the Thunder, and then the Lightning Jahmyr Gibbs comes in, and Tom Brady was even like, I've been around, seen some fast running backs. He mentioned Chris Johnson and Jamal Charles off the top of his head. And I know for a lot of millennials millennials, a lot of the young kids out there, you might be like, who are those guys? They were really fast and in their prime, really good. CJ, Chris Johnson, was known as CJ2K around the NFL Network parts for a while because he had a 2,000-yard rushing season. But Jahmyr Gibbs isn't being asked to have a 2,000-yard rushing season because David Montgomery is too busy stealing your soul. And then Gibbs can do it. Montgomery can do it from the 20-yard line in, and he's broken some big ones. But Jahmyr Gibbs can steal your soul from any part of the field. He could just take it to the house from anywhere. And then Jared Goff, when he completes footballs, not only does that keep a drive alive, it keeps your offense off the field. It keeps you from getting on the field and scoring. It keeps on stringing together first downs and first downs and first downs, and Ben Johnson's offense keeps running at you, and then you force Goff to make a throw, and he makes it. He was 11 for 11 at the 2-minute warning of the first half. We don't see this type of stuff. And then the next thing you know, you look up, you not only have lost, but you've lost at home in division. And those, as you know, are the golden ticket wins in an NFL season. I tell you all the time. I'll repeat it again here. If you think the Vikings and the Packers are the teams that can come for the Lions the easiest, or if you think that they're the closest to coming for the Lions in the division, all you got to do is look at the standings, and you'd be right, because they're the ones right behind the Lions in the NFC North. The Lions have already won in both Minnesota and Green Bay. And that's big, too. And you win on the road in your division, you usually win your division. And you start racking up wins like the Lions have done, 6 in a row. And you start racking up points like the Lions are racking up. The 258 points scored, tied for the most through 8 games in the history of the team. And they're 7-1 for the first time in the Super Bowl era. Last time they were 7-1 was 1956. And you see that. And then you see how each team, when they lose to the Lions, they usually lose the next week because the Lions are beating them up. And you're wondering, how does it happen like Green Bay might? Because it's their first loss since 2018 in which they've gained more than 400 total yards, and they gave up fewer than 300. As a matter of fact, here's how good the Lions are performing right now. They've just won games in consecutive weeks with fewer than 300 total yards for the first time in 20 years. So they don't have to even gain a lot against you. They just take advantage of when they're in a scoring zone, and then they leap on your mistakes like they did with Jordan Love before the end of the half yesterday. Gave the Lions 7 more points. And the Lions got the ball first in the second half, and that was kind of all she wrote. And I hope this is all she wrote now on this aspect, because I just gave it to you, right? I just gave you everything that the Lions are doing.
As you do.
Correct? And they did it without Brian Branch, who got ejected like he was playing for Alabama with targeting. You know, their best defensive player now that Aiden Hutchinson's out. They did it without him. You know, helmet-to-helmet contact, sure. Big hit, yes. Ejectionable? I don't know if he intended. I mean, he's just playing football. 15 yards, sure. Ejection, I didn't believe it. But the NFL's New York office had an itchy trigger finger. They ejected Sweet Puka Nacua yesterday, too.
How?
Well, he kind of did throw a punch.
Yeah.
But he was retaliating. That's another day for another conversation. But long story short, Lions are doing it. They don't have to score. They don't have to get a lot of yards on you. They pounce on your mistakes. They're doing it with next man up mentality. I haven't lost since Aiden Hutchinson broke his leg. They didn't lose when Brian Branch went out in the middle of the first half. But the crazy thing is, I told you, they're gritty, they're physical, they're tough. They have people thinking they can't win outdoors because they're an indoor team, and Jared Goff is like Bambi from Los Angeles by the way of Northern California.
I mean, the stats were not good for Goff outdoors.
Well, guess what they are now? That was then. This is now. And they're loving this. Dan Campbell. Let's get that one first. Can you imagine you're looking at Dan Campbell and saying, well, did you just prove your team is tough enough to win in the rain? It turned him into sounding like Dr. Seuss. Hit it.
But I know this. I'm not shocked one bit that we came out here and played pretty good football out in the elements. That we're built for this, man. And it doesn't matter. And just because we play indoors, it doesn't matter. I mean, we can play anywhere. We can play in the snow. We can play in the rain. We can play in the mud. That's just us. And we're built to win, man.
We could beat you in a box. We just beat you on Fox. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he sounds like.
We can beat you here or there.
We can beat you anywhere. On a train, in the rain.
In New Orleans.
I mean, Jared Goff, and by the way, Saucy Goff.
Saucy Goff?
Saucy Goff.
Oh, is this
I
new?
dig Saucy Goff.
Saucy Goff.
Saucy Goff is like salty to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, I like it. Saucy Goff. Hey, Jared, you play in the Dome in Los Angeles. You played in the Dome. You only play in domes. This is your first outdoor game. Do you need a sweater coat after that?
A sweater coat.
This is what he had to say.
Yeah, I'm sure the next time we play outdoors, they'll say that this is the second time they've played outdoors, and write a big old story about that again. And yeah, we're supposed to be the dome team who can't play outside. We're supposed to be the team that can only win one way, and I think we've shown a handful of times we can win in multiple ways. We're chameleons, and whatever it takes to win in whatever way, that's what we're going to do. And I thought our game plan this week on offense, defense, and special teams was outstanding, and we executed it really well.
Get your thermal underwear when they go to Chicago, people, because the Bears are going to be the next opponent that feels the wrath of the Lions with a chip on their shoulder and a point to prove when it gets, if it's 30 degrees, you can't win there either. And the Bears offense shows up like the Bears offense has shown up the last two games. Yeah. Look out. Lions playing like the best team in the National Football League right now, people. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.